think the work of Jean-Luc Marion is incredibly important for theology today, because in this post-Enlightenment world, the natural attitude can tend to be filled with skepticism, at least, if not cynicism, when it comes to things religious. And Marion is one of the thinkers that, along with people like Paul Ricoeur, Emmanuel Levinas, and others, have opened the door to theological considerations and are even identified with this theological turn within philosophy and phenomenology in the continental tradition. But Marion in particular has given some wonderful contributions to our inquiries concerning things religious, the primacy of the gift, and the saturated phenomenon. And again, trying to describe certain experiences in which what gives itself overcomes all of our concepts and measurements and attempts to manipulate that given, that datum and experience. There are some things that give themselves so abundantly, so profusely, that all of our rational structures are unable to, in a sense, grasp, what's giving itself. And it reminds me of St. Augustine's classic saying about God, that if you comprehend it, it is not God. Because again, God by definition exceeds all comprehension, even if revealed through various media and forms that we can comprehend and approach in a kind of sacramental way.
My first expertise, so to speak, was history of modern philosophy. And I came to phenomenology because of that. Because if you study early modern philosophy up to Hegel, you discover that philosophy became, at that moment, something special, which can be named metaphysics. That is a systematic view of philosophy, where everything is known, I would say, to oversimplify, top down. That is, you have principles. From those principles, you can deduce some derivative truths and try to apply them on different fields. So mostly you deduce and you classify, starting with the same set of concepts and using those concepts by combinations, adaptations, complications to be close as possible to the concrete things. So it is an a priori philosophy. That's why it ends up, with Hegel and others, into building systems. This great endeavor did not fail. It partly won. And a part of the experience can be explained that way. That is everything which can become an object. It's why sciences come from metaphysics. Metaphysics was a theory of how to build up objects, and sciences have used this set of concepts to rule their own, each of them, their own field. So we can know, constitute, produce, reproduce objects that way. But the fact was that, and this is the crisis of the 19th century I referred to, that there are fields which cannot be understood by a deductive system. And very soon the question was, should we not start from down up?
I think Marion has pioneered a lot of new territories within the field of phenomenology, building on the work of Edmund Husserl and Martin Heidegger. Marion claims to perform this third reduction, the phenomenological reduction, which attempts to bracket what's called the natural attitude, all presuppositions and biases that would get in the way of receiving things as they give themselves. And so his third phenomenological reduction is a reduction to what he calls givenness. In German, the term is Gegebenheit, in French, Donation. And this bracketing of things to get at the givenness, he has this saying, so much reduction, so much givenness. It's kind of like squeezing a sponge. The more you squeeze the sponge, the more it gives. And so it is the case with phenomenology. When we perform this reduction, which in itself prevents all reductionism of the phenomenon, then we're able to receive with this openness, great receptivity, this kind of theological fiat, let it be done unto me according to what it gives itself. And then we're able to describe things in a fresh and wonderful way, kind of like the gaze of the child that's so innocent and open to things, everything, wonder and awe that surrounds them. I like to think of Marion's philosophy as a kind of philosophy of childhood, capturing the genius of the child and moving into even a theology of childhood, which reawakens us to what's possible, to what's beautiful, to what's good, everything that is crashing in on us in such gifted and generous ways.
It is not a question of empiricism. Empiricism can be metaphysical and systematic as well, because empiricism is not that empiricist. Because in empiricism, you always presuppose that your own mind will stay before and to some extent outside of the experience. We get everything through experience, through senses, but the mind of the scientist, which is supposed to stay in a position of organizing, ruling, judging, the scientist, as you say. So empirical sciences are only half empirical. The real question is whether even the self, the knowing self, can be experienced a posteriori. That is, in fact, we experience that I myself, the real self, not the transcendental I, is a product of my own experience. So this idea to start from the things themselves and to try to, coming from that, to reach their rational reality, that was the project of phenomenology. And to sum it up, metaphysics is based on the distinction made by Kant between what we know, that is a phenomenon, and what we don't know, which is the Ding and Sich, the thing in itself. And the goal of phenomenology is to identify what appears, the phenomenon, with the thing in itself.